Imagine holding the tiny hand of the one person who depends on you completely, knowing that every decision you make could change their life forever. Mark Adams, a single father, lost his wife the day his daughter Emma was born, leaving him to navigate a world filled with grief, judgment, and impossible choices. As Emma's innocent questions about her absent mother cut deeper than any courtroom battle, whispers of doubt from society and even her own grandparents threatened to tear them apart. When a social worker arrives with the possibility of custody being taken, Emma's terrified plea, "Don't send me back there," ignites a desperate fight for love, survival, and redemption. Can one father prove that love is stronger than fear, judgment, and loss? If you believe in the power of second chances and the strength of a parent's love, like this video and share your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if anyone ever tells you what it feels like to lose and gain your whole world on the same night. I remember it too clearly, the night Emma was born, the sterile hospital lights, the smell of antiseptic, the sound of monitors beeping out of rhythm with my heartbeat. One moment, I was holding my wife's hand, whispering that everything would be okay. The next, alarms went off. Nurses rushed in. I was pushed aside. Her grip slipped from mine. And then, silence. I blinked, and she was gone. A tiny cry cut through the room. They placed a bundle in my arms. Emma, my daughter, my salvation, and my curse in the same breath. I stared at her wrinkled little face, and all I could think was, why did God take her mother instead of me? I whispered down at her, voice trembling, "Hi, baby girl, it's just us now." Her tiny fingers curled around mine, and I broke. Tears slid down my face, falling onto her blanket. "I don't know if I can do this," I confessed to a child who didn't understand. "I don't know how to be enough for you." She only yawned, soft and small. That was 5 years ago, but it feels like yesterday. Life, since then, has been a battlefield. Not the kind with guns and soldiers. The kind where you wake up every day with exhaustion crushing your chest, and still, you put one foot in front of the other because someone depends on you. Bills pile high on the table. Empty fridge more often than not. Nights where I sat in the dark, holding Emma while she slept, whispering to her mother in the shadows, "I hope you're watching. I hope you know I'm trying." And yet, every morning, Emma's smile gave me enough strength to face another day. "Daddy up?" She used to babble, tugging at my shirt when she was just 2. I'd groan, pretend I was too tired, and she'd squeal with laughter, jumping on me until I picked her up. All right. I'd laugh through the heaviness in my chest. "You win, little monster." Back then, I told her stories she couldn't understand, about her mom, about dreams I once had. I'd sit her on my lap, brushing her baby hair back. "Your mommy had the most beautiful smile." I'd whisper, "You've got her eyes, Emma. You saved me, you know that? Even if it cost everything." She'd blink up at me, wide-eyed, then pat my cheek with her tiny hand. And somehow, it felt like she was saying, "I know, Daddy, I'm here." Some nights, after she finally fell asleep, I'd stand by her crib, my fists clenched at my sides. "I won't fail you," I swore into the silence. "I can't." But the doubt always clawed back. Was I feeding her enough? Was the apartment too small? Was she missing out because she didn't have a mom? I hated myself for even thinking it. But there were nights I'd sit on the bathroom floor, head in my hands, whispering, "She deserves better than me." And then, like clockwork, I'd hear her soft little voice calling, "Daddy," through the dark. "Yes, baby. I love you." And just like that, I'd breathe again. Emma has always been my anchor. The weight I carry isn't just loss. It's love. Heavy, unshakable, relentless love. I've learned to talk to her like she understands everything. Maybe she does. "Daddy's tired today," I'd admit while cooking noodles for dinner. "That's okay," she'd chirp, swinging her legs from the chair. "I help you eat." "Big help," I'd chuckle, sliding the bowl in front of her. Or on nights when she'd catch me staring too long at her mother's picture on the wall, she'd tilt her head and say, "Don't be sad, Daddy. I hear." And I'd kneel down, hug her tight, and whisper, "You're right. You're all I need." But the truth? Sometimes I still wonder if that's enough. If I'm enough. Because even love, no matter how fierce, doesn't pay the rent. It doesn't fill the fridge. It doesn't erase the ache in Emma's eyes when she sees other kids with their moms. I live with that fear every day. The fear that one day she'll look at me and realize all the ways I failed her. And maybe that's why, when she asked me the question I've been dreading for years, it broke me in a way nothing else ever had. We were sitting on the floor, coloring. She lifted her crayon, her little eyes so serious. "Daddy," she said softly, "why don't I have a mommy like the other kids?" Her question hit harder than any blow. "Daddy, why don't I have a mommy like the other kids?" The crayon slipped from my hand. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. I forced a smile, but my voice cracked. "That's a big question, sweetheart." Emma tilted her head, eyes round and unblinking. "At school, Mia said her mommy helps her pick dresses." "Who helps me?" My throat tightened. "I do." "But your daddy," she pouted, tapping her chin the way her mom used to. "Why don't I have both?" I wanted to tell her everything. About the night her mother left this world. About how unfair it was that she grew up with just me. But the words wouldn't come. How do you explain loss to a 5-year-old without breaking her heart? Instead, I brushed a strand of hair from her cheek. "Some kids don't have both, Emma. Some only have a daddy. And that's okay." She frowned. "But the other kids said you're different. They said you can't do mommy things." I froze. Who said that? Her shoulders lifted in a tiny shrug. 2 boys at the playground. They laughed. They said I don't have a real family. Anger burned in my chest, but guilt hit harder. I swallowed it down and pulled her into my lap. "Don't listen to them, baby girl. Families come in all shapes. Ours is special." Her little voice dropped to a whisper. Special or broken? The word cut straight through me. I held her tight, rocking her like she was still a toddler. "Not broken. Never broken. Just ours." She buried her face in my shirt, but I felt her tears. And I hated myself for not being able to give her more. Later that week, at pickup time, I stood by the school gates. Parents clustered in groups, chatting, moms with perfect hair, dads in clean suits. I caught their eyes flicking to me. The single dad in grease-stained work boots. "Poor man. He tries." I overheard one whisper. "Doesn't seem enough, does it?" Another replied. I clenched my jaw. They thought I couldn't hear, but I did. Every word sank into me like stones. Then Emma ran out, her backpack bouncing. "Daddy." She threw herself into my arms, and for a second, the whispers faded. "How was school?" I asked, kissing her forehead. She hesitated. "Daddy, am I enough for you?" The world stopped. I crouched down, searching her eyes. "What? Emma, where did you hear that?" Her lip trembled. 2 girls said, if I had a mommy, maybe you wouldn't look so tired. Maybe you'd be happier. My chest cracked open. I grabbed her shoulders gently. "Listen to me. You are everything to me. You're my reason for waking up, my reason for trying. Without you, I'm nothing. Do you hear me?" She blinked back tears. "Really? Really?" I whispered, hugging her so tight she squeaked. "You're not just enough. You're more than I ever dreamed I deserve." Her little arms wrapped around my neck. "Then, promise you won't ever leave me." I felt the words dig into me like hooks. I whispered back, "Never. You're stuck with me, kiddo." She giggled, but her laugh was fragile. And all I could think was, how long before the world convinces her I'm not enough? That night, after dinner, we colored again on the floor. She was humming softly, but her eyes kept darting toward me. Finally, she set down her crayon. "Daddy?" "Yes, baby?" She hesitated, then whispered, "Promise me you'll never send me away." The crayon in my hand snapped clean in half. The crayon snapped in my hand, and before I could even answer Emma, a heavy knock rattled our front door. She flinched. "Daddy, who's that?" My gut twisted. "Stay here, sweetheart." I stood, wiping my palms on my jeans, and opened the door. A woman in a gray coat stood on the porch, clutching a folder. Her voice was too calm. "Mr. Adams?" "Yes. I'm Ms. Taylor. I'm a social worker assigned to your case." My stomach dropped. Case. Her eyes softened, but her tone stayed firm. Emma's maternal grandparents have filed a petition for custody. They believe she would be better off with them. I couldn't breathe. Better off? With them? My voice rose sharper than I meant. They barely acknowledged Emma when she needed them most. Emma peeked from behind me, clutching my shirt. Daddy, who is she? I knelt, forcing a smile I didn't feel. Just someone asking questions. Baby, go to your room for a minute. No. Emma wailed, gripping me tighter. Don't send me back there. Her words broke like glass across my chest. Miss Taylor crouched slightly, her professional mask faltering. Emma, no one is sending you anywhere tonight. I only need to talk with your father. Emma shook her head violently. They yell. They say I'm too loud. They lock me in the dark when I cry. I don't want them. My blood roared in my ears. I turned back to Miss Taylor, fists trembling. You hear that? That's what they call a better environment. That's what they want to drag her back into. Miss Taylor sighed. Mr. Adams, I need to cess. No. I snapped, then steadied myself. No one knows my daughter better than me. I've been the one dry her tears, packing her lunches, teaching her letters. Those people didn't want her when it mattered. Now suddenly they do. Emma clung to my neck, sobbing. Daddy, please don't let them take me. I stroked her hair, whispering, they'll have to take you from my cold hands before I ever let that happen. Her small fingers dug into my shirt as though she could anchor herself to me forever. Miss Taylor's voice softened. I understand your fear, but the court will want evidence that Emma's needs are fully met. Stable housing, income, emotional support. I cut her off. You think I don't know how hard this is? Every day I walk into work, I wonder if I'll make enough to cover food and bills. But Emma has a roof, clothes, and a father who would bleed for her. Does that count for nothing? She shifted uncomfortably. Love matters. But the system also measures stability. Emma pulled at my sleeve. Tell her about our pancakes. I blinked. What? Our pancakes, Emma sniffled. You flip them funny and make me laugh. That's stable. Her innocence cracked me wide open. I hugged her close, my eyes burning. You hear that? That's our life. Not perfect, but it's real, and it's safe. Ms. Taylor glanced down at her folder, then back at us. I'll note everything I observed, but you must prepare. The grandparents are serious. My jaw tightened. So am I. After she left, I sat on the couch with Emma curled against me. The silence was heavy. Daddy, she whispered, why don't they want to stay here? I kissed her hair. It's not about wanting, sweetheart. It's about people thinking they know what's best. But they don't know us. They don't see the nights we stay up drawing. They don't hear your laugh. They don't feel your hugs when I come home tired. Her little hand traced my arm. Do you promise you'll never let them win? I swallowed hard. On my life, Emma. No judge, no grandparent. No one will tear you from me. We're a team. Always. She exhaled shakily and nestled closer. Inside, though, fear gnawed at me. What if love wasn't enough? What if the system weighed money and appearances heavier than a father's devotion? I stared at the cracked paint on our ceiling and clenched my fists. No, I couldn't just defend anymore. I had to prove it. To the courts, to society, to myself. I whispered into the dark, as much a vow to myself as to her. They'll see. I'll show them I can provide, no matter the cost. Emma was still asleep on my chest when the alarm buzzed. I didn't hit snooze. I couldn't afford it anymore. Her words from last night echoed in my head. Promise you'll never let them win. I whispered into her hair. I won't, baby girl, but I got to step up. By breakfast, she was rubbing her eyes at the table while I packed her lunch. Daddy, why are you up so early? Because I need to work harder, I said, forcing a smile. We've got big things to show the world. She tilted her head. Like pancakes again? I chuckled. Bigger than pancakes. At the construction site that day, I begged my boss, Frank, for more hours. Please, man. I'll take night shifts, weekends, whatever you've got. He scratched his beard. You're already running on fumes, Adams. What's going on? I hesitated. Emma's grandparents. They're trying to take her from me. Court says I need to prove stability. Frank's eyes softened. Damn, that little girl clings to you like you're her whole world. She is, I said simply. He nodded slowly. All right, extra shifts it is. But don't kill yourself, you hear? I'll take the risk, I muttered. That evening, Emma noticed the exhaustion in my eyes. Daddy, why are your hands shaking? She asked as I set down her dinner. I forced my voice steady. Because they're working harder than usual. That's all. She frowned. I don't need more toys or things. I just need you. Her words pierced me. I knelt, taking her tiny hands in mine. Sweetheart, sometimes grown-ups don't understand simple truths. So I've got to show them. I've got to prove we're enough. But we are enough, she insisted, tears glimmering. I pulled her into a hug. Yes, but now I have to prove it on paper, in numbers, in things that judges like to see. She buried her face in my neck. I don't care what papers say. You're my daddy. That's forever. Days blurred into nights. I worked until my back screamed, then came home to tuck Emma in before dragging myself out again. Bills shrank. Savings grew, but so did the hollows under my eyes. One night, Emma stayed awake waiting. As I slipped in, boots heavy with mud, she whispered, Daddy, why aren't you asleep? I asked, startled, because I want to tell you, you don't have to fight so hard. If I had to live in a small house with just bread every day, I'd still be happy. As long as it's with you. My chest tightened. I sat on her bed, brushing her hair back. You don't know how strong you make me, Emma. Every time I feel like collapsing, I picture your face, and I keep going. She touched my cheek. Then keep me, not the court. I laughed softly, tears slipping free. That's the plan, sweetheart. That's the only plan. Weeks later, Ms. Taylor returned for a follow-up. Papers spread across the table. Proof of income, savings accounts, school attendance, doctor's visits. You've made remarkable improvements, Mr. Adams, she admitted. Because I had to, I said sharply, because someone thinks love is enough. But I'll give you every number, every receipt, every record. Just don't tell me I'm not fit to raise my own child. Emma appeared from her room, holding one of our pancake drawings. She handed it to Ms. Taylor. See? Daddy makes me laugh. That's stability, too. Ms. Taylor's expression softened. I'll add it to the file. That night, after Emma fell asleep, I sat by her bed, watching her tiny chest rise and fall. I'll work. I'll bleed. I'll push my body past the limit. But I won't let anyone tear her away. Still, a new thought gnawed at me. What if working myself to the bone only made me collapse? What if I lost everything by trying too hard? I gripped the bed frame. No, I'll find balance. I'll fight smart. I have to, because the battle isn't over yet. The letter sat on the kitchen table like a bomb. Daddy, why are you staring at that paper? Emma asked, climbing into the chair beside me. I forced a calm breath. Because it's telling us where we have to go next week. Her eyes widened. Where? To court, I said gently. It's where people go when they disagree about important things. Your grandparents, they want the judge to decide if you should live with them. Emma froze. But we already decided. I live with you. I pulled her into my lap. That's what I'll tell them. Loud and clear. But I need you to be brave, okay? Her lip trembled. Will the judge listen to me? I pray they do, I whispered. The courthouse smelled like old wood and nerves. Emma clutched my hand so tightly I thought she might break my fingers. Daddy, she whispered, are they in there? Yes, I muttered, spotting her grandparents across the hall. They looked polished, rehearsed, like they'd been waiting for this moment. My stomach churned. Her grandmother's eyes flicked toward Emma, then away, cold as ice. Emma pressed her face into my side. Don't let go. Never, I said, squeezing her hand. Inside the courtroom, the judge peered at us over her glasses. Mr. Adams, Mr. and Mrs. Collins, please be seated. Emma climbed onto the bench beside me, small legs swinging nervously. The Collins lawyer stood first. Your Honor, my clients wish only the best of their granddaughter. They believe Mr. Adams, while loving, is not providing the stability Emma needs. They can offer financial security, proper guidance, and a supportive family environment. My jaw locked. Supportive? The same people who locked her in the dark? The judge nodded. Mr. Adams, you may respond. I stood, knees shaking. Your Honor, I may not have money pouring out of my pockets, but I've raised Emma every single day of her life. I've worked extra hours, I've built savings, and I've made sure she's cared for. More than that, she's loved, fiercely loved, and she's safe with me. That's more than I can say about the environment they're promising. Emma tugged on my sleeve. Can I say something? She whispered. I looked at the judge. Your Honor, my daughter would like to speak. The judge tilted her head. She's very young, but proceed. Emma slid off the bench, her voice trembling but strong. I don't want to live with them. They yell at me. They say I'm too loud. They make me sit in the dark closet when I cry. But Daddy makes pancakes. He reads me stories. He hugs me when I'm scared. Please, don't take me away from him. Her words echoed through the silent courtroom. I bent down, whispering, You were so brave, sweetheart. She hugged me fiercely, face buried in my shirt. The Collins lawyer quickly objected. She's only a child. Her statements are emotional, not rational. I snapped before I could stop myself. She's 5, and she already knows love better than you ever will. Mr. Adams, the judge warned, raising a hand. I exhaled hard. Apologies, Your Honor, but everything she said is the truth. If you send her back, you're not giving her stability. You're sentencing her to fear. The courtroom was quiet again, only the sound of Emma's soft sniffles against me. After hours of testimony, the judge finally said, This case will require careful review. For now, Emma remains in her father's custody. A full decision will be given after further evaluation. Relief washed over me, though fear lingered. It wasn't victory, just survival. Emma whispered, So, I still get to go home with you? I kissed her forehead. Always. Tonight and every night until forever. She smiled weakly. Then, I'm not scared anymore. But inside I was, because I knew this wasn't over. That night, as I tucked her in, Emma asked softly, Daddy, did we win? I sat on the edge of her bed, brushing her hair back. Not yet, but we didn't lose either. And sometimes that's enough to keep fighting. Her eyes fluttered shut. Then keep fighting. For me. I stared at her sleeping face, my chest aching. I will, even if it kills me. The judge's words echoed in my head all week. This case will require careful review. It wasn't a win. It was a warning. At breakfast, Emma poked her cereal with her spoon. Daddy, do we have to go back to court soon? Maybe, I admitted. That's why I've got to work harder. We need to show everyone our life is strong enough. She frowned. But our life is strong enough. Why don't they see it? I sighed. Because some people only count money, not love. Emma's eyes dimmed. Then maybe I don't need new shoes. Or snacks from the store. I just need you. Her innocence cut me in half. You'll always have me. But you also deserve more than just enough. That night, I signed up for delivery runs after construction shifts. My body begged for rest, but my fear kept me moving. At the door, Emma clutched my arm. Do you have to go again? I knelt, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Just for a while. It's for us. Her lip trembled. Can't you stay and read me the princess story? I swallowed hard. Tomorrow night. I promise. She hugged me so tight it nearly broke me. Don't get hurt. I won't, I whispered, though my bones already ached. By midnight, I was pedaling through rain, food orders strapped to my back. My hands were raw, my knees stiff, but Emma's face pushed me on. For her, always for her. When I finally stumbled home, she was asleep on the couch, blanket twisted around her. She must have tried to wait up. I whispered, I'm sorry, baby, and carried her to bed. Days bled into weeks. Extra shifts, late nights, endless exhaustion. One evening, as I bandaged a blister on my hand, Emma watched me carefully. "Daddy, why are you hurting yourself for me?" I forced a smile. "Because that's what dads do." She shook her head. "But I don't want you to hurt. I just want you to be here." Her words stung worse than the blister. "Emma, if I don't fight like this, they might think I can't take care of you. And I can't let them win." She crawled into my lap, resting her small head on my chest. "I'd rather have you poor and tired than lose you rich and gone." Tears burned my eyes. "You're wiser than I'll ever be." At work, Frank pulled me aside. "You look like hell, Adams. You're going to drop if you keep this up." "I can't stop," I muttered. He sighed. "Your little girl needs a father who's alive, not one who burns himself out. Think about that." I did think about it. Every night, as my body screamed and Emma's soft breathing filled the room, was I protecting her or destroying myself in the process? One Saturday, I promised Emma park day. She lit up like the sun. But halfway through our walk, my legs gave out. I stumbled to a bench, dizzy. "Daddy." Emma cried, gripping my arm. "Are you okay?" I forced a shaky smile. "Just tired." She burst into tears. "You're working too much. Please stop. I don't need fancy lunches or shiny shoes. I just need you healthy." Her sobs tore me apart. I hugged her close. Okay, baby. I'll slow down." "But what about the judge?" she sniffled. "We'll show them in other ways. Smarter ways. Together." She nodded, wiping her cheeks. "Promise." "Promise." I whispered, though my heart still thudded with fear. That night, I stared at the ceiling beside her bed. She's right. What good is proving myself if it costs me the very thing I'm fighting for? I held her tiny hand, vowing silently, I'll find a balance. I'll fight smarter, not just harder. For her. It started with a cough. Just a small one, barely noticeable. "Drink some water, sweetheart," I said, handing Emma her cup. She nodded, but the cough came back that night, rougher, deeper. "Daddy, my chest hurts," she whispered in the dark. Fear shot through me. "Let's get you checked, baby girl." At the clinic, the doctor pressed a stethoscope against her back. Emma winced. "Bronchitis," he said finally. "Nothing too severe if treated, but she needs rest, proper food, and close watch." My stomach tightened. Rest? Proper food? I'd been pushing both of us too hard. "Is she going to be okay?" I asked, my voice cracking. "With care, yes," the doctor assured me. "But don't neglect her recovery." On the way home, Emma leaned against me, pale. "I'm sorry, Daddy." I frowned. "For what?" "For getting sick. Now you have to work even harder." My throat burned. "Emma, don't you ever apologize for needing me. You're the reason I work at all." She coughed into my shirt. "But if I cost too much, will the judge?" I cut her off, hugging her tighter. "The judge can wait. You're my first job. My only job." At home, I tucked her into bed with soup and medicine. She looked up at me with weak eyes. "Can you read the princess story tonight?" I smiled through my worry. "As many chapters as you want." Her little voice interrupted halfway. "Daddy, what if I don't get better? Who will take care of you?" Tears blurred my vision. "Don't you dare talk like that. You're going to get better, and we'll keep proving to everyone that we belong together. You're my strength, Emma. Without you, I'm nothing." She reached for my hand, whispering, "Then don't let go." I never will. But nights were brutal. Her coughing fits kept us both awake. I sat by her side, wiping sweat from her forehead, praying silently, "Please, don't take her from me. Not her too." Each time she whimpered, "Daddy." I was there with water, medicine, or just my arms. By the third night, exhaustion blurred my vision, but I refused to close my eyes. Emma stirred, whispering, "Daddy, you're crying." I wiped my cheeks quickly. "Just tired, baby girl." "No," she said softly. "You're scared." I broke. "Yes, I'm scared, because I can fight jobs, judges, even your grandparents. But I can't fight sickness. And I don't know what I'd do without you." She squeezed my hand with surprising strength. Then don't give up. If you fight, I'll fight too. Frank stopped by with groceries when he heard. You're a mess, Adams, he said, dropping bags on the counter. Go shower. Eat something. I'll sit with her. I shook my head. No, she needs me. He put a hand on my shoulder. She needs you alive. 10 minutes won't kill you. I looked at Emma, sleeping fitfully, then nodded. 10 minutes. When I returned, Frank whispered, she kept calling your name even in her sleep. That kid's soul is tied to yours. I know, I said hoarsely, and I'll die before I let anyone sever it. Days later, Emma's fever finally broke. She woke with a small smile. Daddy, I feel lighter. Relief flooded me. That's because you're healing. She sat up slowly. Can we go outside soon? Soon, I promised. But right now you rest. You scared me half to death. She giggled weakly. I thought you were the brave one. I kissed her forehead. Brave doesn't mean I don't feel fear. It means I'll fight through it for you. That night, as she slept peacefully for the first time in a week, I whispered into the quiet. I nearly lost her. I can't just live day to day anymore. I need a future she can depend on. Something bigger, stronger, something no one can question. I clenched my fists. If survival nearly cost her, then we need more than survival. We need security. Emma's laughter in the backyard was the sweetest sound I'd heard since her fever broke. She chased bubbles with bare feet, her hair catching the sunlight. I leaned against the doorframe, whispering to myself, never again. I won't let her future hang by a thread. That night, after tucking her in, I sat at the kitchen table with bills spread around me. My hands trembled, but not from fear this time, from resolve. Working myself into the ground isn't enough. I need something that lasts. Emma patted out in her pajamas, rubbing her eyes. Daddy, why are you still awake? Just thinking, sweetheart. About court again, about us, about building something better. She climbed into my lap. Like a castle? I chuckled softly. Not a castle, but maybe a business. Something that's ours. Her eyes lit up. Will I be the princess? You'll be the boss, I said, kissing her head. Always. The next morning, I met Frank during break at the site. You ever think about starting over? I asked. He raised a brow. Every Monday. Why? I need more than wages. I want to start a small delivery business. I already do runs at night. I could make official contracts, clients, something real. Frank whistled. That's a big leap. I don't have a choice. If the court wants proof I can give Emma stability, then I'll build it myself. He studied me, then nodded. You got grit, Adams. Just don't drown in it. Back home, I spread my plan on paper. Routes, costs, potential clients. Emma sat beside me, scribbling with crayons. What are you drawing? I asked. She grinned. Our delivery van. See? I put your name on it. Daddy's Express. I laughed for the first time in weeks. That's perfect. She pointed to the 2 stick figures in the van. And that's me, riding with you. I hugged her tight. Then it's official. We'll build this together. The early weeks were brutal. I borrowed from savings, bought an old second-hand van, and plastered Adam's delivery on the side in peeling letters. Emma ran her hands over paint. It's beautiful, Daddy. I smiled. It's a start. She tilted her head. Does this mean you'll be home more? Eventually, I said. First, I gotta work hard to make it grow. But one day, yes. Her smile widened. Then I'll help. I can hand out flyers. Best partner ever, I said, ruffling her hair. At first, clients were scarce. Some doors shut in my face. Others laughed at the rusty van. One night, I slumped on the couch, head in my hands. Emma crawled into my lap. Bad day? She asked softly. Yeah, I admitted. Some people don't believe in me yet. She looked straight into my eyes. But I do. Always. Her face steadied me more than any paycheck. Slowly, jobs trickled in. Small businesses. Local shops. Frank even hired me for supply runs. Word spread. By month's end, the van was on the road daily. Emma rode with me one Saturday, clutching her clipboard of important notes. "Delivery number 3, she announced proudly. I grinned. "You're hired permanently." She laughed. "Pay me in pancakes." "Deal." That night, as I tucked her in, she asked, "Daddy, do you think the judge will see this? That we made something together?" I kissed her forehead. "If they don't, I'll make them. This isn't just a job, Emma. It's proof. Proof that no matter what, I'll build a world where you're safe." Her eyes fluttered shut. Then we already won. When she slept, I lingered by her door, whispering, "She's right. This is bigger than court. This is our life, our story, and I'll keep building it, brick by brick, until no one can question it again." The first letter came folded in a crisp white envelope. My stomach twisted as I read the heading, "Petition for Custody." I slammed it onto the table. "Not again." Emma peeked from the hallway, holding her stuffed rabbit. "Daddy, why are you mad?" I forced my voice steady. "It's nothing, sweetheart. Just more papers." She walked closer, I scanning my face. "Is it them again?" I crouched, meeting her gaze. "Yeah, they're trying one last time." Her lip quivered. "Do they want to take me away forever?" My chest burned. "They can try, but it won't happen. I won't let it." Courtroom days always drain me, but this time the air itself felt heavy. Emma squeezed my hand, so tight her nails dug into my skin. Across the aisle sat her grandparents, dressed in dark suits, their lawyer whispering strategy. Their eyes avoided mine, but I could feel the contempt radiating. The judge entered. "Let's proceed." Their lawyer rose. "Your Honor, we argue Mr. Adams is unfit. His financial instability, the late hours, the unsuitable environment." I shot to my feet. "Unfit? Ask my daughter if she's hungry, if she's unloved, if she's unsafe." The judge raised a hand. "You'll have your turn, Mr. Adams. Please sit." I swallowed hard and sat, my heart thundering. During recess, Emma tugged my sleeve. "Daddy, are they winning?" I bent down. "Hey, look at me. We don't measure winning by what they say in here. We measure it by pancakes on Saturday, by bedtime stories, by laughter in our little kitchen. And nobody can take that from us." She whispered, "Promise?" "Promise." Back in session, I was called to testify. My palms sweated as I took the stand. Their lawyer wasted no time. "Mr. Adams, isn't it true you struggle financially? That at one point, you worked 3 jobs just to stay afloat?" "Yes," I said firmly, "because I refused to let my daughter go without. Every hour I worked was for her." He smirked. "And your so-called business, it's barely begun. Hardly stable." I leaned forward. "That business is growing, and it's honest. My daughter rides with me sometimes. She sees the work, the pride, the proof that we're building something together. Stability doesn't just mean money. It means love, safety, a home." His lips tightened. No further questions. My own lawyer, Mrs. Chun, stood. "Mr. Adams, why do you fight so hard to keep custody of Emma?" I turned to the judge, voice cracking. "Because I was there the second she came into this world. Because her first breath cost her mother's last. Because every night since, I've promised Emma that no matter how broken I feel, I'll give her every piece of me. They're not promises on paper. They're promises I live every day." The courtroom went silent. Even the judge looked down. Pen paused. When Emma was asked if she wanted to speak, she clung to my leg. I whispered, "You don't have to," but she stepped forward, rabbit clutched in one hand. Her tiny voice carried. "I don't want to live with them. I want Daddy. He makes pancakes and tells stories, and when I'm sick he never leaves my bed. Please don't take me away." Tears blurred my vision. I reached for her, but the bailiff nodded, letting her stand close to me. The judge exhaled slowly. "Thank you, Emma. That was very brave." Closing arguments were a blur. My chest ached with every tick of the clock. Finally, the judge leaned forward. "This court acknowledges the grandparents' concern. However, evidence shows Mr. Adams has provided consistent care. stable housing, and has made significant strides toward financial independence. More importantly, the bond between father and daughter is undeniable. Petition denied. I gasped. My knees nearly gave out. Emma squealed, "Daddy, we won," and threw her arms around my neck. The grandparents left without a word, their lawyer's briefcase snapping shut like a coffin lid. Outside the courthouse, Emma tugged my sleeve. "Does this mean they'll never try again?" I kissed her forehead. This was their last attempt. "It's over." She beamed. "Then can we go get ice cream?" I laughed, wiping my eyes. "Ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you want." "Just dinner," she decided. "Breakfast still needs pancakes." That night, we sat in the van parked by the lake. Emma leaned her head against my arm. "Daddy, yeah, Pumpkin? Today you look like a superhero." I chuckled. Superheroes wear capes. I just wear oil-stained shirts. "No," she said firmly. "You fight for me. That's better than any cape." I stare at the water, my reflection barely visible in the ripples. For years I'd seen only a man breaking under the weight of grief, of doubt, of judgment. But tonight, I saw something different. A father who refused to surrender. Emma drifted asleep in my arms, Rabbit tucked between us. I whispered into the night, "They'll never take you, not while I breathe." And for the first time, the future felt wide open. The courtroom victory should have felt like freedom, but instead it left me hollow. Winning didn't erase the months of fear, or the nights Emma cried into my chest, begging me not to let her go. At breakfast a week later, Emma asked, "Daddy, are they really gone now?" "For real." I nodded. "Yes, they can't try again." She stirred her cereal slowly. "Then why do I still feel scared?" Her words hit like a punch. I reached across the table, covering her little hand with mine. "Because sometimes, sweetheart, feelings don't leave just because the danger does. They take longer to heal." She tilted her head, like when I scraped my knee. The cut was gone, but it still stung. "Exactly," I said softly. "Our hearts are like that, too." That night, I found her asleep curled up in a ball, Rabbit clutched tight, as if she expected someone to come pull her away. My chest ached. I sat at her bedside, brushing her hair back. "You don't have to fight anymore," I whispered. "I'll keep saying it until you believe me." But deep inside, I knew I wasn't healed either. I tried to bring joy back. Saturday pancakes turned into pancake castles. We went to the park more, even if I was exhausted. One afternoon, as she swung higher and higher, she yelled, "Push me, Daddy." I laughed, shoving gently. "Hold on tight." She squealed, "I'm flying." Her laughter warmed something frozen in me. Still, I noticed the shadows. When another parent glanced too long, Emma gripped my hand tighter. When a stranger smiled, she hid behind me. "Emma," I said gently, "you don't have to be afraid of everyone." She whispered, "What if they try to take me again?" I crouched so our eyes met. "Nobody can. Not anymore. The judge said so. I said so. And my word is stronger than any paper." She studied my face, then nodded slowly. "Okay, if you say so." One rainy night, she crawled into my bed. "Daddy, I had a dream." "What about Pumpkin?" "You weren't there. I called and called, but you didn't come." I wrapped her in my arms. "I'm always here, even if I'm not in the dream." She pressed her ear to my chest. "Your heart is loud." "That's how you know I'm real," I whispered. She fell asleep against me, but I stayed awake, staring at the ceiling. She's carrying the scars of my battles, of our battles. The next morning, I made a decision. I found a flyer on the bulletin board outside the grocery store. Family support group, Tuesdays at 7. When I showed it to Emma, she frowned. "What's that?" "Just a place where kids and parents talk about stuff. Feelings. Scary things. Healing." She wrinkled her nose. "Do we have to?" I kissed her forehead. "We don't have to, but maybe it could help." After a long pause, she whispered, "Will you be with me?" "Always," I said. The first night, she clung to my side, refusing to let go of my sleeve. Other kids spoke in shy voices, parents sharing their struggles. When it was our turn, I cleared my throat. I'm Mark. This is my daughter, Emma. We've been through a custody fight. Emma buried her face in my arm. I rubbed her back. It was hard, for both of us. The group leader nodded. Thank you for sharing. Emma whispered, almost too quiet to hear. I don't want to be taken again. Every head turned, but no one judged. Instead, a boy across the circle said softly, I felt like that too, after my mom left. Emma peeked up. Her eyes softened. On the way home, she said, he was like me. Yes, I said. See? We're not alone. Week by week, something shifted. Emma started talking in group, sometimes even laughing. I felt myself loosening too, telling pieces of my story I'd never said aloud. One night, Emma said in the car, Daddy, I don't feel scared all the time anymore. I smiled. That's healing, pumpkin. That's your heart learning it's safe. She looked at me. What about your heart? I swallowed. It's healing too, because of you. Months passed. Life wasn't perfect, but it was steady. The van still rattled, bills still stacked, but laughter returned to our walls. One Saturday morning, Emma sat across from me at breakfast, syrup smeared on her cheek. She leaned forward. Daddy, yeah, you don't look tired anymore. I chuckled. That's because I finally learned to rest. She tilted her head. You were always strong, but now you're happy. Her words stunned me. For so long, strength had meant surviving, clawing, proving myself. But she was right. Happiness had finally returned, quietly, like sunlight after a storm. I reached across the table, squeezing her hand. I'm happy because I have you, because we fought and we won, because even with the scars, we're still us. She grinned. Daddy and Emma, team forever. Forever, I echoed. That night, after Emma drifted off, I stood at the window, watching the city lights. For years, I'd lived in fear of losing her, of failing her, of not being enough. But now, I felt something different. Not fear, not survival. Hope. I whispered into the night. To the wife I lost, to the battles we'd fought, to the little girl who saved me as much as I saved her. She's safe. We're safe. And we're going to be okay.